Day 5 at the Gabba, and Devashish then just messaged us that it has started to rain. He has sent us cloudy visuals, but he's joining us from the Gabba from outside gate number 6. Look at these visuals that we are getting at this point in time from the stadium. Dark clouds looming large at the start, at the start of day 5 at the Gabba. Will there be play from 5:20 onwards, or will there be interruptions? I was just checking the Brisbane weather forecast, the Australian Met Department, and I can tell you that between 12 noon, maybe 1 p.m., to about 4 p.m., 5 p.m., thunderstorms, including a severe thunderstorm with about 4 to 5 millimeters of rain predicted. If that is the case, we are looking at the first couple of hours possible, maybe 2 3 hours of play, but thereafter I don't see much play till late afternoon. So Bharat Ramraj, good morning. Safe to say that we are headed for a draw. What do you reckon?
Yeah, good morning. Looks like it would be one of those drawn test matches, which obviously India would take. Even looking at these dark clouds, we saw yesterday it was quite sunny, but today it is different. Looking at this all these dark clouds on the horizon, it seems like it will be a drawn test match. Yeah, you never know with weather, especially Brisbane, Gabba weather. Suddenly sun might come out, but in logic would say, I think this is a drawn test. India has avoided the follow on. From here on, it would take a Herculean task for Australia and a huge collapse, massive collapse from the Indian team to lose a test match.
Yeah, absolutely correct. I'll ask the same question of Gargi. Gargi, it is pretty gloomy at this point in time. And I was checking the Brisbane Met forecast 12:1 to about 4 5 millimeters of rain. Severe thunderstorm is the prediction. 20 to 30 millimeters of rain predicted for the day. So, safe to say, draw. Do you reckon that Australia will still take a chance, put India in after an hour, or will they just bat it out because they too know that this will now be a draw, most likely a draw, so they don't want to take a chance with 2.5 bowlers, maybe 3 bowlers that they have, because already Mitchell Stark and Pat Cummins very tired. They have, Mitch Marsh has a niggle or whatever. Nathan Lyon, no Hazelwood. Will Australia push the bowlers? Will they opt for the safe option? Because India clearly has come out of jail. Good morning, Gargi Rao. Tell me.
Yes, good morning to everyone watching as well. Um, I mean, I'm looking at the visuals, and they speak for themselves. Yesterday, there was rain prediction, but you did not see clouds this dark. So I think there's going to be a lot of rain, and this game is definitely heading towards a draw. Like you said, 2.5 bowlers. I don't think Australia will like to take a chance. Uh, at this point, I think what Australia might be thinking is let's get this towards a draw, and then focus on the next game, because you don't have Josh Hazelwood. You need to focus on that. Your bowlers are tired. Pat Cummins is tired. Mitchell Stark is tired. So I think it's all about the next game now. This one's a draw, unless India does something completely we don't expect. But I think this is going heading towards a draw for sure.
Bharat Ramraj, interesting this morning is what happens with the 5 overs. If India possibly can survive till the new ball, what does that mean for Australia's overrated WTC points? Because they are behind, they could be docked points. If India survives the 5.1 overs, all of a sudden the WTC table opens up. Australia docked points would mean that India all of a sudden has a much better chance. So from the WTC cycle standpoint and the overrate standpoint, if India somehow plays the 4 5 overs this morning, that's massive. Bharat.
Yeah, obviously, Australia have had problems with the over it right from the Ashes time. All those they somehow escaped by tinkering a little bit of that rule that we should play out 80 overs. It went against England, but Australia kind of escaped. And but this time around, it seems like maybe Australia won't escape with all their fast bowlers bowling quite slowly in those humid conditions. And from that perspective, it's important that Kashdeep and Bumrah would play out 5.51 overs. Obviously, they would know it. Bumrah is a smart guy, smart cricketer. He would, I'm pretty sure, know that that if they play another 31 balls, it would be quite difficult for the Australian team. Obviously, Australia also would try to take this wicket as soon as possible. I thought that dished out too much of short stuff and by back of length bowling yesterday. Looking at both Bumrah and Akashdeep staying back, they should have, that is from their perspective, they should have bowled one or two deliveries in that full zone. They didn't. Hopefully, from India's point of view, they will again do that back of length shot and not go for that one or two tempting full deliveries just outside off. And Australia's over it will then come into the equation.
I think so too. Devashi sent two questions. Good morning. Hopefully you're better today because it's been tiring. I appreciate the hard work. Two questions to you. One, what is the weather like now? You mentioned to us in the group it has started to drizzle. And question number two, as and when the game happens, if it happens, the 5.1 overs that India, if they survive, what happens to Australia's over eight? That's a massive one. If India survives 5.1 overs, chances are Australia will be docked points. And if that happens from the WTC standpoint, massive for 5.1 overs this morning. In fact, let me break it down. As much interest in the 5.1 overs as in anything else, because that's where WTC qualification could hinge. Good morning, Devashish said.
Good morning. I'm not feeling well because I'm sweating profusely. Certainly, I think something is wrong, but where it's pretty overcast. The Australians are at the next area. Indians are also here. So yes, that will be very crucial. Given that if Australia do not hold the 5.1 overs.
Listen, just go to the press box and rest. There is no need to join any show. Just take care of your health. This is a long tour. This match will be drawn. Take care of your health as and when you feel better. You let us know and join. There's no need to do anything. Just take some rest. Have some water. If you want to get some food or whatever, take rest. There's no need. If you want to be on the show, you're more than welcome. Absolutely, you're welcome. But there's no need if you're not feeling well. Absolutely no need. Okay,
Yeah,
so just
I need some water, but I have to go up again to the press box. It's a long walk all the way
wait.
from gate number 4
No, no,
to gate number 6. I
you
took a circle around the stadium.
you wait there. We will try and tell Shubhan or Rohit to get you some water. Hold on. Gandhi, I'll just have a word with Shubhan. You continue with the show. I'll just be back in a minute.
Yes, Devashish, you are welcome to leave the show. We'll take some questions. Me and Bharat will take it from here. Everyone saying good morning to you guys as well. Draw confirmed, only Australia will bat. Okay. Light will be a issue if the weather persists. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at how gloomy it is out there. Bharat, you can take this one. Can you please explain the slow over rate rule and 80 overs associated with it?
Yeah, you just have to get through
I've,
this.
I've told Shubhan, Devashish, he's coming to where you are and getting you water, and he'll get you water right away. I've just had a chat with him. He's coming there. So just be there. Be there. Rohit and Shubhan will both get you water, and just be there. Be there on the show if you want to. Take some rest. Don't worry. It'll all be okay. It'll all be okay. These are visuals which Devashish Sen and the rest of the team had sent us this morning. These are tiring tours. People think for sports journalists it's easy. It is not. It is not. I mean, these are not easy tours. You do long days of 17, 18 hours. You do massive days. You put in hard work. You come and go from the press box. People think, oh, it's such a great thing to do a live. You walk out for about a kilometer, then go back again, do it 5 times a day. These are tough tours. These are tough tours, whether it's an Olympic Games, which is the toughest, by the way, because you're doing 28 sports. These are live visuals which Devashish Sen was sharing with us some time back. A lot of people are saying, Mama, take care. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the whole point, because he's pivotal to our coverage. He's important to us as a friend, as a colleague. I've just asked our other colleagues to kind of go and take care of him. So we will ensure he's taken care of. Coming back to the to the cricket, I think it's a draw. The question from here, according to me, both Gargi and Bharat, one, what will be India's approach in the 5.1? Because they will know that if Australia dock points, it opens up. Number two, will Australia bat it out? Will they even take a chance and put India in? Will they even try that? Excuse me. Will they even try that? Is another question that is important. Bharat, why don't you stand first? And Devashish is back. Uh, Devashish, do you reckon Australia will bat out the day, or do you think they might just want to put India in and take a bit of a chance and see if they can get early wickets, put pressure? What do you think?
I think they will bat. They will bat again. Try and get some psychological advantage before they head into the Boxing Day test, because most of their batters were seen having a knock in the nets, which is just behind the main pitch, main ground. So I also feel that they will definitely bat, and he will be Travis the way he approaches the game now. Means obviously Australia, with still 193 runs lead, Australia would love to score another 150 or so, and then if they can declare, they definitely would like to have a. This is all about getting a psychological edge with the series 1-all, because draw is a distant possibility, but yes, strange thing happen, but Australia will definitely like to have a psychological edge heading into that Boxing Day test.
Somebody is saying some journalist is accusing my colleagues of whatever. Listen, I don't listen to rascals. Okay, so what journalist, which journalist, I don't listen to rascals and react. So whichever journalist you're talking about, you're welcome to go and tell him that I said this. I don't listen to rascals and react. So that's it. What would be your strategy for today if you were, what is this, along with Pat and McDonald there? Okay, so Australian strategy is what Ajay Biswas is asking for Gargi Raut. That's what we were talking about. That will Australia kind of bat it out, or will Australia try and take a chance, even if for a couple of hours? Your thoughts on that?
I think they'll try to bat it out. I think because if I'm not sure how much how much of a match we will have today, because the weather looks absolutely. It looks like it's going to rain all day, honestly. And I think in the next 1 or 2 hours, if it starts raining heavily, I don't see the game happening. Sorry, for the little while, but I think they'll try to bat it out. Try to go for a they'll try to beat India. Of course, it's not that possible right now, but cricket is anything happens in cricket, and they will try to go for the win.
Devashish, if you're sweating, do you want to just go back to the press box? Can't hear you. Mute.
I told Subhayan to bring a chocolate because I have a chocolate left in the room. So I think my sugar level has fallen. So I told Subhayan to bring the chocolate fast. I have to take that chocolate and some water. I will be good then.
Fair enough, do that, but also, sir, just get your sugar levels checked, because this is a long tour. Look forward to seeing you in 3 days, and once I'm there, things are okay. I'll take care of everything. But for the next 3 days, today is 18. Tomorrow in Brisbane, it's a relatively light day because you all are not traveling tomorrow. So just take the day off tomorrow. Take the day off tomorrow. You all are traveling to Melbourne on the 20th. So take the day off tomorrow and then travel to Melbourne on the 20th. We reach on the 22nd, and then nothing will happen. I mean, once I'm there, it's my job to take care of everything. So just take care of yourself and take a rest tomorrow. No big deal. Take a rest tomorrow, and it'll all be fine. Yes, I've also spoken to Shubham, and just if you need anything in Brisbane, any kind of consultation, medical support, or whatever, just let me know. We'll sort that out. Bharat Ramraj, kudos to Boria and team to wake up 4:50, switch directly. Early mornings are rewarded. That's what it is, boss. That's what it is. It's about passion. Look at Devashish Sen, look at Gargi Rao, look at Bharat Ramraj. We are all discussing in the group from 3:45 a.m. what visuals to play. Shopdeal, our backend, Rohan, who's joined back after his break. Everybody's there. So that's the whole point. Devashish, has it started to rain? Is it drizzling? Is it raining?
No,
What's
it has,
now?
it has again stopped. It was drizzling. That's the reason I came all the way from gate number 2 to gate number 3. But it has stopped now, but it is pretty overcast all around. So when I was there inside, I could see there was no cover on the wicket, but the groundsmen were all around, means ready, because anytime it might rain, and then they have to get put the covers back. So I don't know what the situation like right now, but when I was inside, I could see that there were no covers on the wicket.
No covers on the wicket, says Devashish Sen, Gargi Raut. If India, not if, India, if this match is drawn, which is now seems to be the case it is, if this match is drawn, which team will claim bragging rights? India or Australia? India will say, come on, despite having us on the match, you could not get past us. We claim moral victory. We saved the follow on. Thanks to our partnership, not because of the rain, we go into Melbourne as the team with heads high. We are the ones you wanted by now 0-3. It's 1-1. So we've got the series under control and we will now push. India will claim that moral and psychological edge.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Even though Australia will obviously not admit it, and obviously will never come out and say, India performed better than us, and we let that match get out of our hands. But I don't think we will ever see something like that from Australia. But at the same time, the rightful owners of this psychological edge of bragging rights will definitely be India, because I think on day 1 and 2, not day 1, we didn't get to see much on day 1, but at the beginning of the test match, for the first half, it looked like Australia could win this test, and it was India who actually brought this game back to a draw. So when you think of KL Rahul's innings, when you think of Ravindra Jadeja, Nitish Kumar Reddy, and of course Akashdeep and Bumrah, that's what changed the game for India. So I think to bring uh, this game was heading towards a loss for sure for India, and to bring from that to come to a draw now, I think obviously India has the bragging rights now and the psychological edge.
Vin- Vinay and a lot of others are asking about the over rate. Bharat, do you want to explain that once and for all, make it clear what exactly it is so that everybody knows?
Yeah, they ball quite slowly. So if they don't ball 80 overs within the stipulated time, obviously
Dr. Dairy
you
Milk
have
kilo
to
at
15 overs. You have,
Mute Devashish, please. Yeah, okay.
yeah, they have to bowl those 80 overs within the stipulated time. Obviously, if you don't bowl it, one WTC point will they will deduct, I guess, the ball with if you don't bowl within the allotted time. For every over that you don't bowl, and 5% of their match fee, yes, they will take into the equation some other factors like harsh conditions. If some breaks are taken, so maybe they will add some time to it. But you have to basically bowl 15 overs per hour, and Australia definitely behind it, well behind it. So 1 point per every over that you don't bowl, that will be deducted within that stipulated time.
In essence, from what I know, Australia stands to lose at least about 7-8 points, despite taking into account the harsh conditions. If that happens, the entire WTC table gets changed. So take it step by step. India has to play 80 overs for the over rate thing to come into play. Point number one. That means India has to play 5.1 more overs this morning for Australia to be penalized on the over rate count. Okay, point number two. Point number three, yes, as Bharat said, stop start coming back every time the game, all of these sort of was restarting. It's difficult to maintain over rates. All of these things will be taken into account, so there is some wiggle room. Having said that, the kind of over rate that Australia has maintained will not be deemed enough, is my understanding. So if somehow Jasprit Bumrah and Akashdeep Singh are able to survive the 5.1 overs, we might just see Australia dock points. It has happened to them in the past. It has happened and they've lost points. If they lose points again, the WTC table opens up like never before. So the interest at this point in time, if there is a start at 5:20, and Devashish said the covers are not on and the drizzle has stopped. So if there is a start, the most interesting feature in the first 20-25 minutes will be if Jasprit Bumrah and Akashdeep Singh are able to survive 31 balls. If they are, Australia's WTC route becomes very, very difficult. And India will then say that if we just win the series from here on, we might just, even if it's 2-2, Australia has to play in Galle. And in Galle against the Sri Lankan side will be massively difficult. So Australia's route to the WTC final will become extremely complicated and India's will become a little easier. So that is the context as far as the over rate issue is concerned at this point, Gargi.
Absolutely. I'm actually not sure what happens to the WTC scenario if Australia dock points. Does it make a chance for India to get to the final?
Massively, massively.
Oh.
Then at this point in time, India needed a 3-1 to not depend on other teams. If India got a 2-1, it was dependent on some other teams like an Australia-Sri Lanka result, because after this series, Australia traveled to Sri Lanka to play 2 games. Now, if Australia are docked points, then even if it's a 2-1 for India or a 2-2 in this series, thereafter also India's chance remains extremely good because Australia will have dock points and that percentile will go low. Plus, they have 2 test matches to play in Sri Lanka in Galle. All of a sudden, the table becomes far more complicated than what it is now. So the scenario changes dramatically. India's chances open up. If India manages to do a 2-2 also, so either a Melbourne or a Sydney, even in such a scenario, which was not the case earlier, that India has sort of managed to draw the series, can they make it? Even in such a scenario, it opens up. So massive 31 balls coming up. If India are able to bat out the 31 balls, then the entire scenario changes. Somebody is asking, Boland what? Took 6 wickets for 7 runs in Melbourne in 21. So what? So what? You know, at one point in time, the Gabba Tower was considered the Australian fortress, the hallowed fortress of the Gabba. What has happened to the Gabba? What Boland did in 21-22 doesn't even matter. India smashed Australia in 21-22. You know, I've been hearing this whole Scott Boland build up for a long time. It just doesn't matter. Scott Boland is no terror that he will come from somewhere and do something. And by the way, every series is different. Scott Boland is a very good bowler, no disrespect to him. But at this point in time, to say, oh, Scott Boland will come to the MCG and kill it, in that sense, Rishabh Pant has been a stellar revelation. Unfortunately, has not had a good series. So it is not about past records. Take Virat Kohli, 400s in 2014. How many runs has he got in this series? It is not about past records at all. Bharat Ramraj, yes, Scott Boland at the MCG, good record, good bowler in Australian conditions. Let me qualify this, not outside of Australia. If Scott, having said that, this is a tired, aging Australian bowling attack with Cummins and Stark and Boland. India should fancy their chances going forward. Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, they are an aging side. All of them are over 30. One Hazelwood, when he was fit, he's over 30 as well. So at some point, it would definitely take a toll on their bodies. Yes, Scott Boland is a pretty good bowler. I think, especially in Australian conditions, and someone who has troubled KL Rahul a bit because it's a tilt of the wrist. Just with the tilt of the wrist, it just leaves the right-handed batter. There's nothing in his action that you can pick that it's coming in or going away. You look at someone like Peter Siddle, some of those past Australian fast bowlers. Even if you look at some of the Indian bowlers, like someone like Akashdeep, you know that is going to get it away with his action. But with Scott Boland is bit like his action is bit like Courtney Walsh. There's nothing in his action to tell which one would come in, which one would go away. I think that is his USP against right-handed batters. Sometimes struggles against left-handed batters. So that is another point to note. So if you have a couple of 2-3 left-handed batters against him, he really is not much of a threat, I feel, against them, because there's again with this action one can pick as a left-hander. So it would be interesting to see how Indian right-handers play. They will always look for the nip packer, but it is that tilt of the wrist, little bit of tilt of the wrist that leaves the right-handed batter that confuses them. But yes, Australia have an aging test side, and at some point of time in a 5-match test series, you expect even someone like Pat Cummins. Yesterday also, he seemed like he was a little tired in his last spell. He was not really zipping through the crease and his follow through. So at some point in the 5-match test series, 4th or 5th test, you might see that kind of effect where the either of the Stark or Pat Cummins also would be slightly down on pace, might be in terms of rhythm or in terms of nip.
Okay, so there's Devashish Sen. People are asking about did you get the chocolate? Did you get the water? Did you get it? You did? Glad. Good. So just take a little bit of rest and take some time off in the morning. There's no need to jump in and start sending photographs. Take your time. There's no urgency. Health is way more important than anything else. And as I said, still 25 days to go for the tour. 2 massive tests. We will need you at your best. Just like Australia needs Cummins and Stark, we need you. So it's that important. So just take care of your health. What is going on now? Can you give us live visuals and give us a bit of a commentary? Is it raining? What is going on now? Can you make his screen big? Gargi Rao, just make him the primary screen. Yeah, Devashish, tell us what's going on. Is it raining? Give us some details.
No, it's not raining, but as you can see, it's pretty. There are patches of blue skies, but at the same time, there are dark clouds as well hovering over the Gabba. So yeah, you can actually see the sun just peeking out. So if it stays like this, we might expect the game to start on time. That is 9:50. So still a few more minutes. But I'm not getting a live update. If you are getting a live update, it would be a better position to say. But with the sun just picking in, we might see some action pretty soon. And key for Indian, and as you can see, these are the live visuals. See, the roads are pretty dry. So there is no rain, except that for a few minutes it was drizzly, but now it looks quite dry. But it's pretty overcast as well. Boryada.
Thank you. And just to give the Met Department forecast update, it says still about 12 noon, pretty decent. I mean, about 28-30% chance. So you can expect about 2.5 hours of play. You do. But between 12 noon, 1 p.m. to about 4, you have about 7-8 millimeters of rain. You have a severe thunderstorm warning. So there will 100% be interruptions. You don't expect much play after 1 p.m. You expect at least a couple of hours to 3 hours lost. So effectively, we are talking about 3-4 hours of cricket today. Maximum about 50 overs. That is all we will get. Now, how long will Australia bat? Will they bat 15-20 overs? Will they give India 25-30 overs? Will they give India more than that? What is a good total? Will they just bat it out knowing that there is weather problems? Will they bat it out knowing that Pat Cummins and Mitchell Stark are tired? Many questions, but all of that in a bit, Gargi Rao, because we will close the show in about 2-3 minutes. The fundamental question at this point in time is, if it's a timely start, can India survive the 31 balls? Closing comments. How significant is that? The Indians will by now know it. They know that if they survive 31 balls, they can rub it in. Can India do that? And by the way, it's the old ball. It is not the new ball. It is the old ball. And will Australia start with spin? Because will they try to make up the over rate? Massive questions in the first 20-25 minutes. Gargi, you go first, then I'll go to Bharat and close with Devashish.
I think 31 balls is manageable. Bumrah and Akashdeep, if they can do what they did yesterday, then 31 balls is not going to be very tough, considering that it's an old ball. So I think it looks very manageable for India, and India will be thinking about those few points that they can that Australia can possibly dock, because that will make a whole lot of difference in the WTC scenario. So I think their whole strategy would be to last those 31 balls, and then if possible. I don't know if Australia will make any amends to their over rate at this point, but it will be all about that 31 balls.
Bharat Ramaraj, you reckon Travis Head will just come out to open 15 overs or 12 overs for 100 runs and then put India in?
Yeah, that's what logic says. Try to get about 150 runs, maybe in 17, 18 or whatever overs, 20 overs, and if they can, obviously it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be a piece of cake in Test cricket to get 115, 20 overs. But looking at that logically, they should open with Travis Head, maybe send Mitchell Marsh at number 3 or something on those lines. But this Australian team is a little bit cautious, so I'm not 100% sure that they would do it. As far as 31 balls is concerned, I would just add that it also perhaps comes down to how Australia ball. Yesterday, they were a little too short to the last to Bumrah and Akashdeep. They try to ball too many bumpers. If they can mix it up with one of those very full deliveries, who knows, they might get a wicket. But by then they will be fresher. Today they will be fresher. Yesterday at the fag end of the display, they look very tired. So these are I think the couple of threats for the Indian team, because they will be quite fresh in the morning, and they will try to come as hard as they can.
Devashish, then closing comments from you. Do you think Australia lost the plot yesterday? They tried to intimidate the Indians. They tried to inject fear in Bumrah and Akashdeep with the short bowling, and they lost the plot there.
I think they lost the plot when they decided to not declare. They could have easily declared. I think it was day 3 or day 2. They should have declared. Means when they are almost 350 runs on board with such kind of weather forecast, they should have easily declared and matched the match. See, earlier in the years in the past, we see Australian teams go for a win, try and be positive, but these Australian teams, they know how strong the Indians can bounce back. So I think that might have influenced them not to declare. They thought that perhaps score more runs so as to be. It's a kind of a defensive, I would say. So clearly, the Australians ensured, Pat Cummins ensured, first let us not lose this test match rather than going for a win. So that is a clear change in mindset of this Australian team compared to what it was in earlier years. Because had it been a team of Ricky Ponting era, I think clearly there would have been a declaration with so much of weather forecast and rains. They could have easily declared on that day and given India and put India to bat for at least for 30 minutes or so, and perhaps get an early breakthrough.
Okay, so the players are out. The game will be starting on time. I can see Shubhayan and Rohit Juglan behind. Devashish said. Devashish, my request to you is stay with your colleagues. Do not push. Take care of yourself. We will be back at luncheon break or whenever there is a major rain delay. Lots of love. Everybody watching. Gargi, Bharat, Devashish, Shubha and Rohit, to my entire team. We will be back at luncheon break. Thank you very much. Hopefully the 31 balls. If India survive 31 balls, we can rub it in more. Thank you very much for watching.